Remember from the last video, we have our faucet and water is coming out. We know that if the water comes out slowly, then the wave looks like this. That means the frequency is low. And when the frequency is low, the wavelength is long. F is frequency. This one is called lambda, Greek letter for L. That's wavelength. So low frequency, long wavelength. And we saw from the last video that if the water comes out much more quickly, instead of like this, then the wave will be much more close to each other. In this case, the frequency is high, as we see here, and the wave is close to each other, so the wavelength is low. This is the big idea. To summarize, as frequency decreases, wavelength increases. As frequency increases, wavelength decreases. In fact, when one gets bigger, the other gets smaller. And when you multiply them, you get the same number. When you multiply them, you get velocity. That's the wave equation. Let's use the wave equation to solve some problems. For example, wavelength is 6, velocity is 300, frequency we don't know. Okay, for this one, velocity is 300. Let's use different colors for these. Okay, so wavelength is 6. So under wavelength I have 6. The velocity is 300. So under velocity I have 300. Frequency I don't know. So I just put frequency right here. To solve this equation, we divide both sides by 6. We divide by 6 because 6 is next to the F on the same side of the equation, like this. So this cancels. So frequency is 300 divided by 6. The frequency is 50. In fact, the frequency is hertz, 50 hertz. Next example. This time we don't know the velocity, but we know the wavelength is 7. Wavelength is 7. Frequency 50 hertz. So this time V we don't know. Frequency is 50. Wavelength is 7. This time, both of the ones that we know are together already. When they're together like this, we just multiply. 50 times 7, 350. So velocity is 350, and the unit for velocity is meters per second. Final example. And again, if this is too fast for you, please pause the video, take notes, take your time. One good thing about the videos is you can go as fast or as slow as you want. The goal is to understand this. Last example. This time we don't know wavelength. Let's say the velocity is 400 meters per second, and the frequency is 200 hertz. So this time V we know it's 400. F is 200. Wavelength we don't know. Again, what we don't know is next to the 200, and the 400 is on the other side. So we divide both sides by 200. When that happens, these cancels. We get wavelength is equal to 2. The unit for the wavelength is meter. So the wavelength would be 2 meters in this example. That's it for today.